everyone, and welcome to another edition of Listen Up a Minute. My name is Kawanda, Crawley, and I'm sitting here today with an awesome, renowned writer. His name is Dallas Cleveland, and we're just going to talk a little bit about his history, his background, what brought him into the field of writing, and get to know him from a more personal standpoint. Dallas, very nice to meet you. I'm very thankful that you decided to join us today. I just kind of want to start with what inspired you to be a writer?
Wow, it's a long story, but make it real short. My mother, back when I was young, used to write a lot for Reader's Digest.
Okay.
And I was always excited when watching her do that little, back and forth with them back in, I was like maybe 6, 7 years old, watching her send out her little poems and things to Reader's Digest. And they would send her back money. They published her work and stuff. And for some reason, that kind of stuck with me a lot. And I enjoy seeing that and kind of put in towards me a little bit.
Okay. And that kind of just started your writing career from seeing her?
That, yes, and watching a lot of TV programs. When I see the author on television, they seem to have a really good outlook on life, and they enjoyed it, the rewards of having people get into their hearts, into their minds, and it kind of just, I guess, germinated towards me a little bit too. I like the way the feel of it, so that's what it came from.
Okay. And when would you say this started? Around what age did you write your first book or your first novel?
Oh wow! Well, I started about, I want to say, back in early '80s, but I didn't ever finish a book. I just kind of started it, and pretty much I had a lot of ideas. A lot of my friends would always joke around and tease me about what you're doing while you're writing all this stuff. You're not going to do anything with this. But I didn't want to prove them wrong. I just wanted to do something for myself. And so it started a while back, and I had different 4 or 5 books at one time on it. So I never finished them, but now I'm getting to the point that things are coming full circle.
Okay. Okay. Would you say it's a writing process?
Yes, most definitely. Writing has a lot of good things about it because you have to sometimes deal with your own personal views. For me, it gave me a chance to be my own therapist, so to speak. I can write down certain things that I want people to know about or not, keep it to myself or publish it. It's a lot of fun. Writing inspired me to just talk to people, other people that I talk to, how you go about doing this, and I get a chance to talk to them. And then they in return talk to me and give me ideas. And so it's kind of like I bounce things off other people, and it kind of comes back to me a little bit.
Okay. Okay. Do you ever find it challenging to be in this field?
For me, no. I can't speak for other people. For me, it's not challenging, but I feel like it's a hard thing to do. It's mostly just me just being myself. Writing for me has a lot of different aspects. I write from emotions, not from something that I have to put on paper or something that has to be directly precise, but still it gives me a chance to broaden my viewpoints on certain things. And I don't write basically on one topic. I kind of go off a lot bit.
Okay. Right now we have this book here, Black Rose Bears No Thorns. Give me a little background on this. I mean, the title itself is very poetic. So give me a little back view on what the history of this book was. What was the motivation?
Wow, Black Rose for me was a book that I've had for a long time in the making. It's actually still, this is chapter 1, volume 1, sorry.
Okay.
I have a lot more to this book. It's just that I haven't had a chance to get it all put together because it's so thick. I did do a page company, publishing company that said that I needed to break it down a little bit more and make it into volumes, and they're pretty much on point by telling me to do so. I have, like I said, so many different ideas that I want to put out there, but writing it is not something that I do in sequence. I do out of sequence. I write emotions. So today I might feel good. Tomorrow I may feel, I don't know, sad. So it depends on how I feel. And each character, I'll find that need to write about that person. So later on I can come back and put it together and make it, I have a direction in my mind, but don't have actual paperwork put down. So
this process could take years.
It has taken
one volume out.
Yes, it has taken a while. Yes, because of that. You're right.
Okay. And I know you had mentioned earlier, we were speaking that it's another book that you actually wanted to kind of focus on. What's the title of that book?
Awesome. Awesome is what I'm really focused on because it's really a book about relationships.
Okay.
Awesome is acronym. It stands for a woman, erotic, sexual orgasm made easy. But it's not what it sounds like. It's not really a sexual desire book. It's more like people that I've sit down and talked to here in the States and abroad also. I've been to New York, Canada, Mexico, and everybody seems to have a different viewpoint. And by me actually talking to people, I don't take their words verbatim, but I take the ideas and I was able to put awesome into a book where it's only like 47 chapters, but it doesn't have to be read in order. You can read out of order based on what you feel is important for you. And it's more of a book for you to have a conversation about. So you can actually use it as a sit down topic for your husband or your wife or your friends. You can sit down and have a discussion with co-workers. It's just something to spark interest. It's not a right or wrong answer to the book, but it has you thinking about why you have these topics and what makes it feel so hard sometimes to achieve a relationship. Awesome does have some things that you would have maybe spiritual leading behind it. There's some things that may be a little bit more physical, but it all boils down to just having understanding about somebody.
Okay. Okay. Do you feel that it's a book that will help in marriages or relationships?
Yes, I definitely do. Since I'm at my age, I just look at my grandparents' raising. And my parents, they tend to live the life of wanting to live the American dream. My grandparents wanted to live the life of just being alive. They tend to have a more focus on longevity, and the divorce rate wasn't as high as it was back when they were younger.
That's true.
So now I see that this book kind of brings, I give my viewpoints, not saying that they're all going to be right for everybody, but it gives them a chance to sit down and discuss with their significant other what we are not doing, what we're not doing right, what we are doing right. It's just a chance to give a chance to talk and open a dialogue with your persons you feel comfortable talking to.
Okay. Like a conversation starter.
Exactly. You got to start somewhere.
Okay. I like that. So what do you feel that you enjoy most about writing books of this nature?
Wow. For me, the joy of writing is just the rewards of seeing someone read my stuff. It's nothing like having a person come out the street and say, "Hey, I read your book. I've seen it in Amazon or Barnes and Noble." And people I don't even know, come up and they see my picture or they know my name, and those sort of things give me a inspiration. Writing for me has just been it's a release. I get a chance to go into a world that's not even mine. I can embellish on certain things and have a good time with that. I don't have to be precise. I can write a lot of things that I would feel that I would want to be. Like, for instance, Black Rose is a guy, Dexter, which is Dallas, which I use a lot of that in there. But it's not just me, it's other people I talk to and how they have had different scenarios in their life and how it played out. And I kind of use that as a focal point.
Okay. Okay. A lot of creativity to be a writer.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Okay. Well, what do you see for yourself in the future? I know that you're working on this book now, but are you planning on doing any more?
Yes, I'm writing for me has definitely been inspiration, but the time to write has always been difficult because working and trying to provide, the things that you want to have in life sometimes don't give you a chance to sit down and just write.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those guys that can go on hiatus and sit back and just write without having any problems paying the bills. So me writing, I used to work at my last job. I take my books and paper with me, and I'll be writing when I'm at work, which is, I won't tell you I work there, but but yes, just writing, and that would give me a chance to sometimes go into a different mindset and do those things. That's the only problem I have when it comes to writing, but my goal is to be more of a serious writer.
Yeah, yeah. Do you feel like it's an escape though, when you're getting lost in your writing?
Writing, yes. It's very difficult. If I can explain it like this, my character sometimes deal with people that I really know, and sometimes it hurts me to put that person in a position where I don't want them to be because I have that emotional connection. So I feel myself sometimes kind of putting a govern on what I can say, what that person may go through, or I feel emotional stress or anger because I wrote about this person, but really it's not real. But you can get caught up in the world of writing.
Yeah, I like the way you explained that though, because to you it is real. Those characters are real. They're may have some type of related characteristic to someone that you know,
Right.
but they also are real to you. They're real life people in your book, so they are real. I like that. Okay. Let's see. I don't know. What else would you like to tell us about your upcoming book?
Oh, well, for me, I've always looked at life in an aspect of perception and proximity. So if you look at what life has given me as a person, I've been around people, I've had experiences, and right now I'm not in a relationship, but still I know what it means to be in one. I take the word proximity because if you work at a place where there's a lot of people and you don't have, you'll find a lot of interracial, you'll find racial, you'll find different backgrounds, you'll find different people you're drawn to based on just being in that area. And it may not be something you might have planned or perceived that you want to do, but because that area drawing you into that type of lifestyle, you'll find yourself liking these people. Perception is always something based on what you perceive it to be, but it isn't always what's going to happen for you. I perceive a lot of things in life that I thought would be one way, how I might feel about a certain person, but being and around somebody, the proximity has changed my viewpoint. So now I find myself drawn towards what it is in that particular time and time and space. Not that it's really that complicated, but you'll find yourself wondering, why am I so drawn to this man or to this woman? And it's not because they fit your scheme of things, it's because you've been around them so long that you find yourself drawn to them. As we find out people that have affairs a lot because they're in the area. Exactly. Which I'm not trying to promote that, but still.
I understand what you're saying though. Are most of your books about relationships and
Yes, right now I like detective books. I like relationships. I don't understand why. I think it's because of my upbringing has been a Christian type background. I like for people to be happy, and I like the side of trying to help people. Not being a licensed therapist or anything, but I do have work with people that needed some kind of support. Encouragement, and I look at life as teaching me how to do things myself a little bit better than I did before. I said, I'm not in a relationship, but I know what it is to be in one, and I know that the mistakes that I made, that if I stopped and looked back, I could have prevented a lot of these other things that I didn't. I might be my own worst nightmare, my worst own enemy, but still. And then I look at certain things a little bit more on a different level instead of just jumping into it and saying, oh, this is what I want. It's not what I really prepared myself for.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I had a conversation with someone earlier and I told them, I was like, you don't have to be a licensed therapist to be a counselor, to help someone. It's most of the times when you're going through things and afterwards you're like, okay, that information may help somebody else, so let me share it. Right. Just be a licensed therapist. I just got a lot of student loans, you don't have to go through that process, but you can always help someone. You can always help someone to not make those same mistakes and give them that little bit of wisdom.
Right.
And that's what your books sound like they're doing. It's almost like self-help. It's helping people with having those difficult conversations about relationships that sometimes they may not want to talk about because it's like, oh, that's a taboo. We don't talk about that. Sounds like, okay, these books will spark those conversations to say, let's talk about it, because everybody, unless you're not human, you're going through it. You're going to have those type of situations in a relationship. But I like that. It's self-help. It's helping people in their own way from your life experiences.
Right. And then talking to you and other people I come in contact with helped me write this book also.
Okay.
So yes, it's now about just what I have gone through, it's what I have talked to people, and that's why I think Awesome is a really important book to put out there because it can cause conversation, it can cause ideas. And a lot of times people have, like I said, perceived certain things in life that aren't what they really expected. And that's something that needs to be addressed when it comes to relationships because communication is not being done. This age technology is very, very easy, but it's not really geared towards communicating. It's more that's an easy way of talking, but you're not talking.
Yeah.
So, talking on telephone and texting. I mean, okay, you can text with abbreviation, but what are you saying? I want to know what you have in your heart more than you just put on a piece of paper or your screen you text to me. So
that's the difference from 30, 40 years ago.
Yes.
People didn't sit down and have conversations like this. That's not seen nowadays, you know. After abbreviations, you don't know what the person is saying, but when you get face to face, it's hard to have a conversation. Your book will help people to have those conversations. That's good.
And I don't want you to feel people, a lot of times women do feel labeled to express themselves and they don't want to look at or be looked as they're weaker because they don't want to address the issues. Sometimes women are more outgoing than men, but once again, there's a quote, you have to be a certain type of way, and that's not fair. It's not true to a lot of reasons because you think that your grandparents had this lifestyle or your parents had a lifestyle like this, you find yourself now branching out and doing things a little bit different, which is a good thing, but you still have to keep the basics, and that's not being done. That's why I feel you have to step out and do a little more with it.
Okay. So what are your plans over the next couple of months with this book? Is it going to be released?
Oh, yes,
okay.
yes. Thank you for asking that question. I'm hoping in July we can get this out and into the people. It's not an easy process because my last adventure, I didn't know what I was doing. Okay. I'm learning a lot. My manager crew, he has definitely stepped up and showed me some of the ins and outs of what's got to be done, and help my hand a little bit because I don't know a lot about the publishing side and what we got to, as far as what we got to do is to reach the people and everything else and distributing everything else. But it's a chance for me to learn, and he's learning us also. Together we're doing a lot with this, and hopefully in July we can get Awesome out to the people.
That'll be great. That'll be great. And it's good to see the background that it's not always just the person writes the book. We just have the author. We have those behind you helping on your team. Yes. To make sure that these books are published and get out to the public. That's amazing. Okay. Well, anything else before we close up on what you would like to share about Awesome or any inspiring words to up and coming artists and authors?
Don't let anybody tell you you can't do certain things. One thing I've learned in life, if you don't take a chance, you never learn what you can do. Like I said, I don't have any really hardship doing this. It's just something I wanted to do, and I didn't think when I was younger that I could have achieved this type of achievement. Not thinking I would be an author, have a title author or something like that. But it makes me feel proud about myself, and the rewards are awesome. Here I'm talking to you on this podcast that I've never thought possible. And I'm really excited about just sitting down and doing things like this and hope that I can maybe inspire other people to do the same thing. Like I said, if you have an idea, you want to reach out, do something like this, don't hesitate. Ask questions, just research, Google, YouTube, all these different avenues out there for us and for us to use. My thing is using.
Yeah, exactly. Have you ever used any other platforms like that before to get people the word out about your books?
Well, when I did Black Rose, I used a publishing company and they did everything for me. They kind of like just held my hand totally, but they didn't give me a chance to really develop any skills for myself. They kind of just put me in the background, took my work, and it didn't come out the way I really would expect it to be or where I wanted it to be. But I was still proud that I did accomplish a feat that I've always thought was out of my reach.
Yeah. Why did you think it was out of your reach?
Time. I mean, this awesome has been almost 5 years. Black Rose almost 12 years
Okay.
in the process. And one thing about writing, you always find you keep adding and adding, and it's hard to stop because my mind is I want to continue to develop and do certain things. Even my books that don't have a finished product, I still want to continue writing on those books too. And so I don't want to get bored or boggled down. So I find myself doing different projects. So when I get tired of one, I can go to another one and keep myself kind of excited and geared towards doing it. Emotions of my major motivation. And like I said, I can be happy one day and sad the next. A lot of times my characters reflect that writing that for that day or for that week. And there's times I might go for a couple of weeks or a month without even writing, just fact on what's going on in my life besides just writing. Not one of those John Cushman's like sometimes just write when I want to write stuff.
Yeah, but it's called what, writer's block. I think
Yes.
that's common.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. But there's still a lot of creative energies to have to say, okay, I can write one day about this emotion, next day about this. Then you have to put all that together at the end. I would get lost in those pages and be like, okay, I left some characters out. I left out some key points. How do you keep it all organized?
Believe me, I have a cheat board. I have to do that. I don't try to have too many characters because you can become overwhelmed with characters in your book. But I do have a little cheat. I keep it a board, and I do put the characters' names and who they are and what they are doing in the book. So when it comes down to it, I can always know who knows who at what point.
Okay.
So it doesn't keep me off balance with that type of writing. But when it came to Awesome is not a book that had to be done in the same format. You can read Awesome chapter 1, chapter 9, whatever you want to read, because it's based on the chapter that sparks your interest at the time, what you're going through. And that's why I think Awesome would be good for a lot of people, because it's not just a entertaining book, it's like I said, health book. So it helped me a lot.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying. Different times of people's life, they may need to go to that particular chapter to help them through that situation. It may go back to chapter 1 when they're going through that situation. So It's definitely, it sounds like a self-help book to help people manage no matter what stage of life they may be in at that time.
And that's what I wanted to get toward. There's no right or wrong answer. It's only that you have to take from it what you take from it.
Yeah.
So hopefully there would be something that people will enjoy and they can pass it on. And once they read it or they feel like they've gone to enough, they can pass it to somebody else without even having to go to the store and buy it. I want to pass it to my friend.
You want to go to the store.
I want to go to the store and buy it, yeah.
But
if you want to pass it on, I wouldn't feel like this is going to be, I wouldn't be hurt that you did something like that, because it's important that people get back to the basics. And just overall the love that people don't show anymore like used to. They used to talk to people and communicate and those sort of things. This is why I hope Awesome will help in a little bit in that arena. Okay,
that sounds amazing. It may be a book that a lot of people as a counselor may implement into those sessions. That's one of the biggest things we do. We give out those resources to say, hey, this is what you can use with your partner or whoever to get through whatever, marital issues you may be experiencing at the time. It's like psychoeducation. So it sounds like an amazing publication. We look forward for to be coming out this July, correct?
Oh, yes, that's
July.
That's the target, yes.
Okay, and right now there is Black Rose Bears No Thorns out. I thank Mr. Dallas Cleveland for coming out and sharing this time with us and on this platform to tell about his publications and all the new endeavors that he has. If you guys are looking for him, how can they reach you? Any social media platforms?
Right now I'm using this Crew Choice Star Choice. So we pretty much don't have a setup for the books yet, but he's my manager and he has everything that we need for us, just reaching out to talk to people and connections. So hopefully we can network a bit more, getting into that stuff. Like I said, it's a new process.
If they want to get in touch with him, they can email LACRUE503@gmail.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you again, Mr. Dallas, for coming out and sharing with us this new publication. And we look forward to going to the shelves in July to check out Awesome.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate
Absolutely.
it.